I've seen a lot of people rush into the cheapest home golf kits on Amazon, only to end up with a flimsy screen that ripples when you swing, a frame that wobbles, and a whole lot of frustration after they've already spent the money. It's the classic buyer's regret. You wanted a practice space, but you got a storage nightmare. The question I keep hearing is whether a more professional-grade enclosure can actually be a smarter buy, or if it's just an expensive piece of metal that still leaves you with the same headaches. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Enterprise Commercial Golf Simulator Enclosure from Ace Indoor Golf Store sits in that gray area between budget and full-blown commercial studio. It's not a bare-bones pop-up screen you can toss in a closet, but it's also not a permanent wall towel installation that requires a contractor. The design is a two-piece screen system, a front screen you actually see the ball on, and a rear impact screen that catches the club's force. Both screens are mounted on an aluminum frame that uses connector pieces instead of welding, and the whole thing is wrapped in top and sidewall skins that stick on with adhesive Velcro. The frame comes with number 4 grommets for easy hanging or bolting, which is a small detail that matters when you finally get it up in a garage or a spare room. If you've ever tried to set up a DIY net with a sheet of canvas and some PVC pipe, you know the pain of the whole assembly process. The promise here is that you can get a commercial-looking enclosure together in a weekend, rather than spending weeks wrestling with custom cuts. In practice, the assembly time is realistic. You'll spend a few hours aligning the aluminum rails, snapping the connector pieces, and then peeling and sticking the Velcro skins. It's definitely more involved than unbox and roll out, but it's also far less intimidating than building a steel frame from scratch. For someone who enjoys a Hansen project but isn't a professional carpenter, the learning curve feels manageable. Now, let's talk about daily usability. The front screen is made of a high-visibility material that works well with most launch monitors and ball tracking apps. When you hit a drive, the ball stays visible and the impact screen absorbs the energy without the screen ballooning or tearing, an issue that cheap alternatives often suffer from after just a handful of swings. In a typical home practice session, you'll notice that the enclosure keeps the ball trajectory clear and the bounce back from the impact screen is muted, which reduces the chance of stray balls ricocheting off a flimsy net and breaking a lamp. That makes it suitable for a family room where you don't want to risk damage. The aluminum frame does add a level of sturdiness you won't get from a PVC-based system. The connector pieces lock together in a way that distributes force across the whole structure, so you can swing with confidence even on your longer drives. However, because the frame relies on bolts rather than permanent welding, you'll notice a faint squeak the first few times you tighten everything. It's a minor annoyance that can be solved with a quick touch-up of the bolts, but it's worth mentioning for anyone who expects absolute silence. One hidden trade-off is the reliance on Velcro for the wall skins. Velcro is great for a quick install and makes it simple to swap out skins if you ever want a different color or branding. The downside is that over time the adhesive can lose its grip, especially in a warm garage where temperature fluctuations cause expansion and contraction. After a few months of regular use, you might find a corner of a side skin lifting, which then needs a fresh strip of industrial-strength tape. It's not a deal-breaker, but it's a maintenance step that cheap kits completely bypass. They simply don't have removable skins at all. Who should consider this enclosure? If you're a serious amateur who already uses a launch monitor, or you're a small business looking to set up a practice bay without committing to a full-size commercial studio, this product hits a sweet spot. The two-screen design gives you realistic ball flight visuals while protecting your walls, and the aluminum frame offers enough rigidity for regular practice. It also works well for coaches who need a portable but professional-looking setup that can be moved between training rooms. On the other hand, if you're just looking for a weekend hobby and you don't mind occasional screen ripples, a basic net and canvas combo will be cheaper and less fiddly. Likewise, if you need a permanent, wall towel installation for a high-traffic commercial facility, you'll likely outgrow the modular nature of this enclosure and end up needing a custom-built solution. From a value perspective, the enclosure's price sits between the low-end $200 kits and the $2,000 plus commercial installations. The 3.8-star rating from nearly 800 reviewers suggests that most buyers feel they got what they paid for, but the rating also hints at a few pain points, mainly the assembly time.